Okay, guys, hey, I wanted to go through just how I think the best way would be to graph your position time graphs on Google Sheets. Um, so just open up a blank spreadsheet and if we were just graphing one motion, it would look something like this. X is always time. Whoopsie. X is always your time, so that's going to be my first column, and then B is going to be my position. Um, and that's simple, right? So we could highlight that. And again, the number of data points you use is going to vary. I'm going to insert chart. You could go to insert as well, but I do the quick button here, insert chart. We're going to do an XY scatter. I'm actually going to move myself over here. And then we could customize it. And I'll go through kind of how we'll customize it here in a little bit. And so that creates a nice position time graph for us, right? We have time, which pops up already because of this. We have position. Really, it'd be good to have our, it'd be good to have our units here, if we were measuring position in inches. Again, with this, typically in physics, it's going to be meters and seconds. With this, everyone's going to have kind of different measuring tools at home. So time and position. Okay. If I were to remake this graph, those should pop up, and so I don't have to go in and edit those, which is just nice. Like if we can build it into our data table, then when we make our graph, we see that those units pop up there. Okay. So how do I get two of them, right? How do I get three graphs? How do I get four graphs? So you guys should have four different graphs going on at once. So I think the best way would be, and you can label this position A. Whoopsie. I think the best way would be all four of them like this. Label them B, C, D. Okay. The problem with this then is we can only have one X column, right? So there's other ways you can do this, but I think this is the simplest, especially for those that maybe don't have the best understanding of spreadsheets. Get that off. So if I were to do position B's then, right, like, so maybe my position B is, I don't know why I did that, but maybe my position B is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? I would just then put my times in down here. 2, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7, right? And so what you'll see, it doesn't matter like that I don't have any data here for my first motion. I'm just putting all my data here, and it's going to graph these associated with this. Okay, so if I were to recreate my graph now, and I don't know where the best place is for me. So like for C, I would have 10, wow, 11, 12, 13. For D, maybe I have 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just do negative. -5, -6, -7, -8. Right? And I have the times for all these. And I'm just going to, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to drag these down. It's going to fill these in. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to insert my chart. Whoa, that looks crazy, right? So, but I want XY scatter, right? That's the best way to do it. XY scatter, I double check. I make sure X axis is my time. Sometimes this will be down here. If that's an issue for you, shoot me an email. I can help you figure that out. But then I have my data, which is awesome. What you guys are going to do then is you're going to get a trend line for each of these because we want to connect the dots with our trend line. And so to do that, you're going to go to series. And we're going to apply this to all series. You could do individually series, but we're going to apply it to all of them. The series are position A, position B, position C, position D. Those are our series that they call them. And we're going to add a trend line. Okay. which that is our position time graph then for that object. What we're going to do then is we're also going to label it. And we want to label it with an equation. Okay, our trend line is linear, so that's what we want. And we're going to use our equation. Let's not worry about the r squared right now. But essentially, we get a y equals mx plus b. Okay, so what you can see is it doesn't matter that there's no data over here. We're just putting this all so that we have one set of x values for my times. And you can fill in your positions there, and then you can get your position time graph. Okay. You'll notice it doesn't label the x and y axes for us. So what we can do is we can go to chart and axes titles, right? And then from that we can say position versus time graph of constant velocities. We can change this to horizontal axis is time, seconds. We can change this to our vertical axis is position, again in whatever units you used. And then here's what I don't like. I don't like it not starting at 0. And this is personal preference. Again, you're not turning this in, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my time needs to start at 0. So I'm going to set my minimum to 0. It does that. Boom. We get that. We'll go through how you can change some other things later in the class, but that's kind of how I can have that. And so once you have that, I just want you to sketch that in your notebook, and then what you can do is you can label each line with the equation of that line, and we'll talk about what that equation means and why that makes sense. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, but I think that's just the easiest way to build that in Google Sheets.